If a war between Iran and the United States continued for 2 years, the consequences could be enormous. While no one can, while military experts generally expect a prolonged conflict to affect not only the two countries but also the entire Middle East and the global economy. 1. Military escalation. During the first months, both sides would likely continue launching airstrikes, missile attacks, drone operations, and cyber attacks, missile attacks, drone operations, and cyber attacks. The United States has advanced air and naval forces while Iran has a large missile arsenal and regional allies. Fighting could spread to U.S. military bases in Iraq, Syria, Jordan, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the Gulf. 2. Regional involvement. A long war could draw in other countries and armed groups. Allies of Iran might attack U.S. or allied interests, while U.S. partners in the region could increase military support. This would make the conflict much wider and more difficult to end. 3. Economic impact. A 2-year conflict would likely disrupt oil exports through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's busiest energy routes. Oil and gas prices could rise sharply, increasing transportation costs and inflation around the world. Many countries would experience slower economic growth. AP News +1. 4. Humanitarian crisis. Prolonged fighting could cause thousands of military casualties, large numbers of civilian deaths and injuries, millions of displaced people seeking safety, damage to hospitals, schools, roads, power stations, and water systems, shortages of food, fuel, and medicine in affected areas. 5. Cyber warfare. Instead of relying only on conventional weapons, both countries could intensify cyber attacks against banks, communication networks, government systems, and energy infrastructure. Such attacks could disrupt daily life far beyond the battlefield. 6. Political consequences. Political consequences. Political consequences. 6. Political consequences. Long wars often create political pressure. Citizens may question the financial cost and loss of life, leading governments to face domestic criticism. International organizations and neutral countries would likely increase efforts to mediate peace talks. 7. Diplomatic efforts. Even during an extended conflict, negotiations would probably continue behind the scenes. History shows that many wars eventually end through diplomacy rather than military victory alone. Latest developments. Recent reporting indicates renewed military exchanges, increased tensions around the Strait of Hormuz, and continuing diplomatic efforts, with analysts warning that the risk of wider escalation remains significant if negotiations fail. In summary, if an Iran-US war lasted for 2 years, it would likely bring severe military, humanitarian, political, and economic consequences for the region and the world. However, the exact course of events cannot be predicted, and diplomatic agreements could still bring the conflict to an end before then.